Okay, so I personally haven't tried this before. A coworker and I, we came up with this idea for something else. Using a style guide from work to try and have it be able to edit specific documents in a specific way for us, and that turned out quite good. We called that one Brocket, but I didn't do the nuts and bolts of actually putting it through that process. So the way this looks is by going to Explore here, we can create a GPT, and I can help you build a new GPT. You can say something like, make it creative. Yeah, or what would you like to make? So I'm going to say I would like to make a facilitator, an AI that facilitates the user through Bailin, through a critical inquiry process using Bailin and okay. So the GPT will be an expert in facilitating users through a critical inquiry process using their method. Let's give it a name. All right. So I'm going to have to upload the document of their summary. I'm just kind of curious if I just follow their prompts, what will happen. And here's the profile picture that it's generated. Features a thoughtful owl perched on a stack of colorful books symbolizing wisdom and knowledge. Do you like this image, or do you like to make any changes to it? I mean, I like it for now. And yeah, so now it's called Critical Inquiry Facilitator. Guides users through critical inquiry using Bailin and Battersby method. So it's come up with some example questions here. I'd like some to guide the user of like what things it could do. But it's going to refine the content. First, let's focus on the role and goal. We know it will guide users through critical thinking using their method. How would you like it to approach this process? Should it focus more on exploring arguments in depth, or should it encourage exploring various viewpoints? And it's saying that twice for some reason, so I don't know what the kind of error is there, but I'm going to upload a document that gives a summary there. Method of critical thinking pedagogy would like the what are we calling it? Is it calling it AI? I guess it's calling it by its name. I would like the Critical Inquiry Facilitator to guide the user through each step of the process, one at a time. as well as provide prompts and feedback that encourages the user to be in alignment maybe I'll say it helps. So it helps the user align with their spirit and process. I was going to say spirit of inquiry. Yeah, I'll just say with spirit of inquiry. Yeah, guidelines and spirit of inquiry. Okay. So I'm assuming it's going to now prompt me to upload that document. I'm a little concerned that it thinks I've already uploaded the document. So I'm going to upload the document now. Or maybe I'll just clarify. I haven't uploaded document yet. I will do that now. Yeah, okay, it's still thinking I've done it. So I'm just going to upload the document and just see what happens. I'm a little bit nervous that it's going to think that this document is in response to its prompt here, but I see. Right, I could have entered the message. Didn't upload the document. Here it is now. So I'm a little bit nervous about how messy I've made this kind of prompting process at the beginning, but I mean we'll see how it goes. All right. Okay, this is a really great question. Should it avoid giving direct answers to encourage more independent thinking, or are there other specific approaches? In general, I think it's better to avoid trying to answer the question, the inquiry itself, and rather guide the user to their own conclusions, or guide the user through the process. However, if the user is asking specific questions or seeking to have more specific guidance, it would be helpful to provide that kind of assistance. how it should handle clarifications. Should it ask for clarification from the user if their questions or responses are unclear, or should it lean towards making assumptions and respond? If users' questions are unclear, as defining questions is a very important part of critical inquiry. How should it respond? Alright. See how it does with that. It is now set to communicate in a friendly, approachable, yet professional manner. It will use clear, encouraging, and supportive language, avoiding overly formal or technical terms to make the critical inquiry process comfortable and engaging for users. It is now ready. Feel free to try it out in the playground. Right, so yeah, so at any point I think I could have tried talking to it before, but let's just see. So I think I can have it prompt from the beginning, and I wonder. Yeah, it has conversation starters here, but I think I can have it actually give an initial prompt, and I think that's what I would really like it to do, because right now I'm kind of having to prompt it with I have a topic I'd like to perform an inquiry on, and I don't like that. So I think okay. So I'm gonna add that one, and I think. I mean, actually, I do like these questions here. I wonder if those will stay there throughout, or if it would only be at the beginning. Can you guide me through a critical inquiry? See how it does. I could also just get rid of these. So I think I'll do the same topic again, see how it does, but I'm going to give it a more general question. And I'm going to try and give it a bad version of that question. Is education a form of slavery? I mean, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So it's taken me through the process. Okay, now it's saying, would you like me to delve deeper into any specific aspect of this inquiry? So I'd like it to actually take me through step by step, so I think that that's something that needs work. So I'm going to play around with it for a little bit and see what I come up with. Okay, so I've done some playing around, and now know the difference better of what's going on here. So this is really kind of just a beginner-friendly way of trying to configure the GPT by just having a conversation with ChatGPT, and then it's kind of creating an initial prompt for it. But really, this is where what it's doing is, based on the conversation I was having before, it was trying to fill in this initial set of instructions for it, which essentially was just giving it some tone instructions. So I've now updated it to say similar to what I said before, is that its job is to be this facilitator. By guiding them to follow the critical inquiry process, you should guide them through each step of the process, one step at a time. So I'm basically saying exactly what I said to in the conversation before, but it didn't actually include a lot of that information in that conversation. So okay, so yeah, I've got this here, and now I'm going to try it again. I want to, I'll just say I have a topic for critical inquiry. I still can't get it to start the conversation. I'm not sure if that's something that I'm able to do or not, but I have given it specific instructions now to start prompting the user for a topic of. So if you just say hello, it will kind of ask you right away, which I don't think it did before. I didn't do that before, so that's something. And there are those prompts at the top, so it's not bad. And I like that now it's also saying, according to Bailin and Battersby's guidelines. I think that was kind of missing before. It did have the document, but it didn't have these, didn't mention this specifically. So again, I'm going to ask it the same question. It's quite broad and vague here, so I'm hoping it's going to criticize that. Okay, this is great. It is criticizing my question essentially, but it's doing so in a way that's pretty approachable and not overly critical. So let's clarify and understand the issue at hand. What do we mean by education? Are we referring to formal schooling? Does this include informal learning and self-education? How are we defining slavery? Are we talking about literal slavery, or is this a metaphor for lack of freedom or autonomy? Yeah, that's these are super solid questions. What is the historical, cultural? So okay, so yeah, I gave us some kind of general questions for each step of the thing, each step of the process, again, and now it's saying, by considering these questions, we can begin to unpack and explore your topic in a structured and critical manner. Let's start with the first step, defining our key terms. How would you define education and slavery in the context of your question? That's awesome. So yeah, I'm going to play with it a little bit, just make sure that it kind of does what I got it to do before, but I think that this is going to work. Okay, so I've hit the limit of how much I can use ChatGPT today, or at least for this next little while. I think this is pretty promising though, so I'm going to save this GPT And now when I go to back to ChatGPT here, now I have this version of ChatGPT, and I can have conversations with this, which essentially has all that context preloaded into it, and now it should just be able to guide me without me having to guide it in how I want it to guide me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with where I got to so far.